Noah, 9.88 in the 100 meters and 19.65 in the 200 meters. Please give us an assessment of how you think your season has gone so far.
So far, it's been going as well as I hoped. I can't complain with either of those times. I didn't think I would be the U.S. champion in the 100, so that was like something that kind of really stood out to this season. Over, I think, all the seasons, because it's my first U.S. championships, and then I didn't think it would be in the 100 meters, which would be like my second tier event. But other than that, I've been around the world. I've undefeated in the 200, and I've only lost 2 times in the 100. So to be honest, it's really getting me excited for next year, going into World Championships, and even thinking about the Olympics. I feel that I have a strong confidence going over into every race, and I'm excited to see how much faster I can get each and every time.
Tomorrow it's going to be a loaded field. There's a semi-final and there's a final. Kristen Coleman, Zarnell Hughes. What do you hope to achieve tomorrow?
So I've been doing really well in practice. I've been running faster times than I ever have, so I'm really excited going in. The first round is always going to be the same. I'm going to choose 1 or 2 things that I'm really honed in on, maybe my start, maybe my transition. But then when we get to the finals, it's all take what I've learned from all my races, from my prelims, and just put it together and create a really smooth race.
Next year is a big year for you. Now we've got the American trials, and 4 or 5 don't go into 3. You've got yourself, got Kristen Coleman, we've got Mr. Barker, we've got Justin Gatlin, and potentially Mike Rogers. Could next year's finals of the men's US Open Trials 100 meters be one of the most competitive ever in a long time?
I don't know if it'll be the most competitive. I could tell it will be a very fast race, because at the moment we have Christian Coleman, who's running 9.8s. We have me, who's running 9.8s. We have Ronnie Baker, who's running 9.8. And even Mike Rogers running 9.8. Justin Gatlin hasn't posted a time yet, but he is very well at running 9.8 and even running 9.7. So I can't say that it won't be one of the competitive races, but during the rounds, anything can happen. False starts, or even somebody getting tired, injuries. So I don't want to wish that upon anybody. Let me put that very clear. But I think it will be definitely a very competitive and fast race, and I think it will almost be a switching of the guards moment for U.S. track and field. We've had a lot of people who are getting into their older ages, and I think a lot of newer, including me and Coleman and Baker, are kind of just stepping up and try to show that we can be the new face of American track and field.
I know this year has not been a global championship year, but please tell us, have you been keeping an eye on what's been happening at the European Championships and things like that? People like Zarnell Hughes, have you been keeping an eye on them?
I've definitely been keeping an eye. My friend Matthew Hudson-Smith is running. I have a teammate, Jakes Harvey. He was in the 100-meter final. He got bronze. And I've definitely been looking at Zarnell. Zarnell gave me my first loss of the season, so I've been keeping an eye on him overall. I was definitely watching Dina Asher, because she's kind of just been moving and PRing and looking smooth every time she runs. So I definitely, and once she dropped that bomb in the 100, I was just like, all right, I got to see this 200. And then truthfully, just watching the 200, because I'm a 200 runner, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Even Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, a really close friend. We have the same agent, but we're really good friends together, so I was hoping that he would do really well, and he did. He got a season's best, and hopefully he can run even faster going on later into the season. But I've definitely been keeping an eye on Europeans, because truthfully watching it is almost like watching a world championships, just all the Europeans instead of the whole world.
A lot of people don't know this, but athletics almost lost you to the sport of gymnastics. Can you tell us about that, please? Your love for gymnastics and how you left it and came into athletics.
I wouldn't say that we almost lost, because I do love gymnastics. It is definitely one of my other loves. Even basketball is my first love. But the main reason why I probably didn't continue with gymnastics is because I was just so young and it was so expensive in the U.S. You know, it's very hard to keep going because so much money comes out of pockets from parents. And with athletics, you know, my family was so into it. Both my parents were runners, and my dad was actually my first coach. And it's just kind of ingrained into our family so much that it kind of eventually just took me, you could say, and I just kind of just fell in love with it. I wasn't even a runner; I was a high jumper. So after high jumping a while, and they threw me on the track for once or twice, I just learned that I was fast, and I decided I was just gonna do both. And then eventually, you know, the track just took over, and I just fell in love with the 100 and the 200.
You mentioned basketball there. Which team do you support in the NBA, if any at all?
So it's weird because I don't like professional basketball or the NFL. I'm more of a fan of college sports. So I'm a Gator fan. I'm University of Florida. I was born in Gainesville, so I'm a Gator fan through and through. And if the Gators aren't in it, you choose an SEC team when your team gets kicked out. But truthfully, I wouldn't choose a team, but more of a person for basketball. I have a lot of respect for LeBron for the reason that when people see you win too much, they feel that you need to lose. And he has just kept his composure. I haven't seen nothing bad about him. As far as I can tell, he is a great dad, a great husband. He gives back to the community. He is almost an icon to the world and to the community of basketball in the way that he portrays himself. And I see that as a role model of how I want to be and how I want to conduct myself onto the track and to the world.
What makes the NCAA program, what makes it so great? Because it's produced so many talent in different sports.
I think there's a lot of different ways. One way would definitely be how competitive it is. So you have different sections. So the SEC has some of the most competitives, and they're always meeting. So you always have to be at 100 every time you meet. Another reason is you're trying to get the best talent, and they have really good facilities. Almost every college has a track that they train on. They have a gym that you can go to. They have a nutritionist, and they have physio, and that's all in one area. And then they pay for you to go through school, so you know that's something that you don't have to worry about. Everything is a close-knit area. And then since in America, the mentality is everybody wants to be the best. So in the college system, it's the same way. Everybody wants to be the best. So they're putting their best foot forward with everything they have to make sure that their athletes are the best, and they produce great athletes so they can win.
Thank you very much for your time. Good luck going forward.
Thank you.